es so sein ist. So things are starting to come together now, and disparate forces are now coalescing around Cooper at the centre. The Buckhorn PD kick off the episode with a real kick to the head and the revelation that Dougie Jones's wedding ring was inside the stomach of the male headless body found at the murder scene in Buckhorn, with the coroner's advice of I'd start with the wife. So they're going to be zeroing in on Jamie Jones, Naomi Watts' character. The fingerprint hits that they got that were locked by military personnel. The Pentagon are now investigating the hits because the fingerprints on the body belong, sadly, to Major Garland Briggs, with the strange revelation that this is the 16th hit that they've had on his fingerprints. Now, does that mean his fingerprints have turned up in 16 different locations, or someone has logged into their records and tried to access Briggs's records for the 16th time? Either way, the Pentagon are now going to investigate the Buckhorn murder scene. They will have to inform the FBI of what they find. Meanwhile, the FBI, we have to wait an entire other episode now to find out who Albert was referring to about the person who could or couldn't correctly identify Doppelganger Cooper as whether or not he's the real Agent Cooper. But the FBI is circling the case in that regard. Who's that going to be? Diane, Audrey, someone completely unexpected? We're going to have to wait to find out. And we've also got Hawke's investigation, which, whilst seeming to be plodding along and they're just working through the case files, remember the investigation kicked off with Margaret the log lady setting Hawke on this path. It will ultimately be Hawke that finds the thing that's missing. And we have Cooper's key to the Great Northern Hotel now winging its way via the US Postal Service back. Is that the missing thing? Is that the thing, the key, finding the key that's missing, going to set Hawke back on the path? Anyway, all of these disparate forces are coming together around Cooper and around this murder. And let's talk about the murder. So it's potentially Garland Briggs's body with the librarian's head, I forget her name, apologies, committed by, we assume, Matthew Lillard's character, whose prints were all over the room, because he was there in a dream, see, so I understand that he was possessed by Bob as a way to set him up from his wife and George, his solicitor, who's having an affair, his lawyer, who's having an affair with his wife. His wife's also having an affair with someone else that turns out to be Doppelganger Cooper, who kills her with George's gun. Are you keeping up with this? Framing the lawyer for killing the wife after they set up the husband for killing the librarian and the body. But all of this with Dougie's wedding ring in the stomach of that man's body. Is this some weird Bob Doppel Cooper ritual to create the golem, the proxy of Dougie Jones? Or was Dougie Jones a real person, and this magic to create this proxy is now affecting the people around Dougie to make them still see Dougie? Because this level of non-observance, which isn't a word, of everyone in Dougie's life around him now is reaching ludicrous stages. I have to believe that there is some kind of magical intervention there to make people see Dougie. And is that too far-fetched when Bob's hijacking people's bodies, and doppelgangers and things roaming around? So Garland Briggs is playing a much larger role off stage than I ever would have thought possible before this new series came back. Just as Philip Jeffries, an even more ancillary character, one scene in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, is off screen playing a hugely important role in this unfolding story. And the ending of the episode, if we jump around, tells us that this little communication device that was contacted twice in the episode is in Buenos Aires. That specifically ties into Philip Jeffries, but infuriatingly for people who aren't Uber fans, I suspect, that ties it ever closer to Philip Jeffries, who is linked with Buenos Aires, but only, I think, in the missing pieces from Fire Walk with Me, the deleted scenes from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. So Lynch has already said that Fire Walk with Me is a key piece of understanding season 3 of Twin Peaks. It seems now potentially that the missing pieces are also. I'm going to provide a link down below to anyone who has put, I'm sure it exists, put together David Bowie's scenes, deleted scenes from Fire Walk with Me, the missing pieces with Philip Jeffries up there, so you can reacquaint yourselves if you haven't already, because it seems to me at this point that any information we can glean about Philip Jeffries, even deleted scenes from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, may well be beneficial. Now, the two people that called that device, the second one was Doppelganger Cooper, who we know is working with Jeffries, or believes he's working with Jeffries. He contacted who he thought was Jeffries, and another voice on the end said, "You'll be going back soon and then I can be with Bob." That's explained now. Bob is still inside Cooper, Doppelganger Cooper. As soon as Doppel Cooper goes back to the Black Lodge, Bob is free to then hitch a ride with someone else. So whoever that is has obviously been missing Bob, because Bob's been in Cooper for 26 years. And Cooper's second call destroyed the device. The first call was from a lady, very nervous, who had hired people to kill Dougie Jones and was having to report back, now we know, to Buenos Aires on her phone to someone called Argent. Was that just a misspelling of agent? Is it Agent Jeffries? To contact someone now who we know is in Buenos Aires to tell them that the job hasn't been done yet. Now, why would someone want Dougie Jones dead? Is it that Jeffries knows, or a major player knows, that Dougie Jones is a proxy, and that by killing him, it means that Cooper can just do a straight swap with his doppelganger when he comes out of the lodge and mess up those plans? That's my way of thinking at the moment. Which side is Philip Jeffries on? And is it the human Philip Jeffries, or is it the doppelganger Philip Jeffries? I'm starting to think more and more that we're either going to get a secret appearance from David Bowie, or there has been a lot of suggestion online, and I like this suggestion that Tim Roth, whose part we don't know, is going to be playing Philip Jeffries. As far as standard episodic television goes, this was the most comfortable watch for me. It was the most consistently funny. I laughed an awful lot throughout this, and then, as Lynch and Frost love doing, that's intercut with horrible stuff. So the joyful stuff, the stuff that really made me laugh out loud, first of all, Stephen's job interview, before we learn later on what a wrong Stephen actually is. Him getting torn to shreds in the shortest job interview in history, and then the parting shot as he's leaving of the guy who's interviewing him just saying, "What an asshole," really made me laugh. I loved Cooper following the smell of coffee. I know it's kind of a cheap gag, but it really pays off when they get into the office and Frank is really upset that Dougie is drinking his coffee. "Hey, I wanted my coffee," and sort of makes do with some green tea latte begrudgingly, and then realizes how much he adores green tea latte, and the smile, the little secret smile that spreads across his face as he starts drinking. From now on, that's a green tea latte guy. And even better than that, one of the mysteries set up in season 3 has already been solved. No, it's not that Dr. Jacoby's golden shovels look like the golden shovel that the Horn brothers used to break ground on the Ghostwood project, even though it does look like those horns. No. Dr. Jacoby has a weblog, a webcast as Dr. Amp, sort of conspiracy theorist nut job who wants to sell you his golden shit shovelers. Shovel your way out of the shit and into the truth for only $29.99 plus post and packaging. the most glorious. And then watching Jerry fucking baked off his ass watching the webcast, laughing his ass off, and then Nadine at home really eating all this shit up. And I was trying to do a quick. He's only got 5 shovels there. That's only $150. He's a man of meager means, is Dr. Jacoby. But God damn it, you are in the shit. Shovel your way out of the shit and into the truth. It's fucking brilliant. Of course, as with the human condition, comedy mixes with tragedy, confusion mixes with horror. The scene in Doppel Cooper's cell where his reflection just distorts and we get the suggestion of Frank Silver's mouth and nose as Bob, you're still with me. That's good. My God, these guys continue to come up with stuff that just gets under my skin. But even with those scant few lines, you're being given information. Now, the question of, well, is this a doppelganger? Is it Bob? What's happening? How are they going to get around Frank Silver passing and no longer being with us? Well, here's your answer in the most economical and creepy ass way possible. A little rug pull at the Roadhouse where what you think is going to be the end credits isn't the end credits. And another horrible example of violence against women, which is a major theme of Twin Peaks, uncomfortable as it is. It's always been there, and people willing to turn a blind eye to it. And Frost and Lynch have always been clear that this is not right. It's not good. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's actually repulsive. And over the end credits, we find out that piece of shit has the surname Horn. So whether he's Ben or Jerry's son, we don't know. But he's taken over the drug business in Twin Peaks, running it through the Roadhouse, and history repeats itself. The cycles of violence repeat themselves. Shown none more tragically than in Amanda Seyfried's character of Becky, Shelley's daughter, and even Shelley and Norma in the Double R Diner even reflect on the fact that they both know what it's like to be in an abusive relationship, a controlling relationship, and Norma's advice is along the lines of, if you don't help her now, it's going to be much harder to help her in the end. Everyone's saying that Becky is going to be the new Laura Palmer. I just don't see it as simply as that at all. But the shot of the episode is clearly such a simple shot, but such pure Twin Peaks and pure David Lynch, actually, of Becky taking the coke, letting go, having this moment of blissed out abandon while she's in the passenger seat of the car, head up, eyes closed, with the light shining on her face and the radio playing old 50s music. Another YouTuber, the Vlog Lady, check her out actually, said that you can see all of her sadness in this moment of happiness. And I couldn't put it better myself, which is why I'm stealing that line. But the Vlog Lady, I'll link to her below as well. So that's episode 5 of Twin Peaks. And as frustrated as I was with the sort of infantile Cooper, I'm comfortable now. I'm in the rhythm of the new show. I'm happy to let them tell the story they want to tell rather than the story I think they should be telling. They're already giving hints, even though he's still there doing the wee-wee dance. I'm kind of happy to watch the wee-wee dance now. It's all coming together. The forces are gathering to help Cooper. So I'm happy for him for a couple more episodes to stand in hallways doing the wee-wee dance, because he's grabbing onto work, the taste of coffee. He's grabbing onto a word like agent. Kyle MacLachlan's work when he hears the word agent and case files. He's fascinated with the statue of the cowboy, righteous justice, because underneath it all, he is still Cooper. The beautiful scene of empathy with Sonny Jim, Dougie's son, that he sees in the car, and he just understands the child's sorrow and feels it for himself. This is the essence of Cooper, not the simplistic sort of man-child that everyone around him is reacting to, but a person of deep, boundless empathy and positivity and a sense of right and wrong. And he's now a lie detector. That sense of right and wrong coming with the flash of green on Tom Sizemore's face, and he's lying. That's our Coop. Straight down the middle. Right and wrong. Good is good and bad is bad. And we are on the side of good.